So when our root component mounts, this query is going to be executed. So first we have to make sure that in a separate terminal, and we can open up another terminal by hitting this plus button in VS Code, you can open up another terminal, and in addition to having your client app running in one of the tabs, you can start up your backend by again cding into app and then running python manage.py run server. First of all, making sure that you're within your virtual environment. You might need to run pipenv shell to start that up. And once that successfully starts up, we can save root.js and navigate to our application. And if we head to the index page at just localhost 3000, you can see that we're getting an error. And you should see in your console that you're getting a CORS error. We haven't set up our Python backend to allow cross-origin requests. So we're trying to make a request from localhost 3000 to localhost 8000/GraphQL. We haven't told Django that that needs to be allowed. Fortunately, we brought in a special package for this. If we take a look at our pip file, we brought in Django CORS headers. If we search for the documentation on how to use Django CORS headers by typing in GitHub Django CORS headers and navigating to the following address, we see the instructions on how to allow for cross-origin resource sharing. So we've got Django CORS headers installed. We just need to add the string CORS headers to our installed apps. So we'll head back to our app folder, the sub app folder, then settings.py, and we'll add up at the very top of installed apps CORS headers. And then heading down in the instructions, we also need to add some additional middleware. So we just copy these two lines, and note that CORS middleware should be placed as high as possible in the middleware list before any other middleware. So the order of the middleware does matter within our settings file. So we'll head to middleware and add these two entries up at the top. And finally, we want to add a CORS origin whitelist, which will be a list of origin host names that are authorized to make these cross-origin requests. So we'll add this CORS origin whitelist right underneath our middleware. And we're only going to have one item here, and that's going to be to localhost 3000. That's the only origin that we want to give access to. So when we save settings.py, and we make sure that our servers restarted correctly, we can head back to our application. And when we refresh, we now see displayed in the page all of our tracks. So we've allowed cross-origin access from our React application to our Django backend. We've set up Apollo within index.js. We're providing Apollo components, our Apollo client, to our React components. And we see now how to use the render props pattern in conjunction with these Apollo components to execute our GraphQL operations on our React client.